Oh, happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee from CreativeLeeYours.com and excited that you're joining me today in the studio for some crafty fun. Yay, 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 yay. Love Tuesdays when we get to play, right? All right. I have a sneak peek behind me. I always have a sneak peek behind me, don't I? Think so. I'm not ready to announce it yet, but I'm getting ready to launch something early December. I don't know if I'll have it ready on the 1st or not, but I'm working on it now. And projects are designed for the first month. Yes, they're super cute. You're not going to want to miss them. So I will tell you guys more in the coming days on that. I will do a separate YouTube video and upload it so that you know what's going on. And then we'll talk about it again in next Tuesday crafting class as well. So, all right, what do I have for you today? So today we are going to use our stamps to create our own pattern paper. It's been a while since I've done this. What about you guys? Yeah, let's give it a try. I'm going to switch the camera over and let's start playing. All right, there we go. This is the gorgeous card that we're going to be making today. And so I am featuring the framed florets stamp set and die bundle. Love these. This is part of the early release product that Stampin' Up! Released for customers in November, right? So this month. Now there are some additional fabulous offerings within this collection, but today I'm going to focus on just the core bundle. This bundle will be in the new mini catalog that starts on January. I'm going to say it's the 5th. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look that up. And then this is the project we're going to make. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to take our stamps and we're going to make our own pattern paper. And I just created a really nice neutral tone on tone card. Now you could do this in any color combination, which is fabulous. And it could be used for so many different occasions. There's so many great sentiments in here. And I love that we've got some that we can use on the inside as well as the outside and mix and match them. Now you're also going to notice these gold swirls. Let me get a little closer so you can see those. Those are actually sold out. That was part of the limited release, that along with the designer paper. And then there's a Christmas, well, it's not all Christmas, but primarily Christmas sentiment stamp set that goes along with this collection as well. And it's great, but those are while supplies last. So if you want those, you want to order them and get them right away. You cannot get these swirls anymore. So you're going to see on the supply list after the class today, I will update the description. So you have to hit the show more to expand it. And you'll see the complete supply list. There's links. You just click on them, add all the items that you need to your shopping cart and go on your way from there. But I will also add the cutting dimensions. And I have both Imperial and metric for you guys today. All right, let's get started on this one. Move that out of the way. And I want to start by stamping my background. Now, this is a photopolymer stamp set, so I am going to bring in my foam pad so that I can make sure I get some really good stamped images. And let's go ahead and just grab a scrap of paper just in case I get a little crazy with my stamping here. And I'm bringing in Crumb tape as my ink of choice. Okay. And then I'm going to use this gorgeous floral image right here. I really like this one. And we're going to stamp this image around to create our background. Now, this particular card was inspired by one that my friend Angie McKenzie, sorry. And I loved it so much, I wanted to do my own version of it. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze this in. And the great thing about photopolymer is that you can see exactly where you're stamping. So I'm not worried about getting this down in that far corner. I'm okay with that. It's just fine. I'm going to rotate as I go around, and I'm not going to worry about this middle section because I'm putting that fabulous oval in there, and it's going to cover up quite a bit of that white space. So you could stamp this randomly all over the layer if you prefer. I've decided to just make it along those four corners, which is also fun. So I've left quite a bit of white space in there. Again, you don't have to do it that way if you don't want to do it that way. I really like it though. All right, so let's add a little extra punch to our color on here. So you could leave it as is, or you could add some colors. I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Blends, and this is soft suede. This is the dark. You could use the light if you want. And I am just going to add some depth of color to the berries that are on my flowers here. Just adds a little pop to it. So I really wanted that neutral color palette, but it just adds a little more texture to it, right? A little more depth. And it's super easy to color, right? Putting little dots on there. They don't have to be perfect. The beauty of making handcrafted projects, right? Hey, Susan, so glad you're here with me today. All right, and then I want to go ahead and add some Stella. I want to color in these flowers. And I don't know if you can see it on the original sample, but who doesn't love a little bit of sparkle here? So I'm not going to color the whole stamped image. I'm just going to stamp or just color in these florals, just the flower itself. I'm not going to do the leaves. Just want this little touch of that glittery background. So can you see the difference between the one I've colored and the ones I haven't, and how pretty that is? I don't know if it picks it up on camera very well. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's so, so pretty. It's a nice, easy way to add some extra pizzazz. And you don't have to worry about it fully being colored in, or if you get outside the lines, that's okay. You make it as detailed as you'd like it to be. Or accurate, I guess you could say. I'm not worried about it. I'm just scribbling in a little bit of that glittery. Now, if you're having trouble getting some of the Stella to come out, you can give it a little squeeze. I highly recommend whenever you squeeze it, that you do that over your silicone craft sheet, because this could ooze out really easily. It's like an opaque pen. And if it blobs out, it's really, number one, you waste it because you get a big blob of it. And number two, if you do it on your silicone craft sheet, you can lift it up and still use all that goodness without wasting any of it, which is wonderful. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some layering. I'm going to put this on a skinny border of crumb cake. So we're just going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive to the back here. Our stamp and seal. You can see where that stamp and blend does bleed through your cardstock. So this is one reason why you would want to layer it, possibly. Now you could have used a Stampin' Right marker, which is a water-based ink as well, and it wouldn't have bled through. And that would have been nice. I'm going to bring in about, I think it's about 20 inches or so of linen thread that I've pulled off here. And I'm just going to wrap it around. And I'm going to tie a little bow. Now, I'm not going to worry about where my bow is being placed right now. Right now, I just want to get it on the card front, and I can always rotate it and slide it where I want it to be. Give her a nice little bow. That one turned out pretty good right away. And I'm pretty happy with that placement. I think maybe I could slide it over just a smidge more. We'll go right there. How about that? Look good? All right, let's go ahead and fold our thick white card base. And oh, good. Hey, Kay, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, this is easy, fast and easy. I think it's fun. It's beautiful. Doesn't take a lot of supplies, which is a nice thing as well. All right, we're going to pop this up on the front. Again, if you guys don't want the extra height, you don't have to pop yours up. I like it, so I like to pop mine up. And we'll just throw in a couple in the center as well, just for stability. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Now, I use thick white card base because whenever I'm using a plain white card, although this isn't plain, but when I'm doing a basic white or a basic vanilla type card, I like to use the thick card base. Every once in a while I'll use a regular weight cardstock, but the thick just gives it that extra special support, I guess you could say. So I really like using that. All right. So my oval, love these ovals. Now I used this one right here. So I've saved the frame for another project and I just die cut that oval out of the center. So I love that it will do that. You could layer those pieces together if you wanted to, or use them separately as I'm doing today. Let's go ahead and get our sentiment on here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to soft suede ink. So I'm sticking with that neutral color palette that I had. And we will just get our sentiment hopefully stamped somewhat in the center and straight. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. That out of the way so I don't get ink everywhere. Right. And then I am going to go ahead and attach this to the card front with some dimensionals as well. Find where I buried them. Okay. All right, so we're going to slide this right in here. Put that in the center-ish. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered. You could slide it up or down if you wanted to. All right, I'm going to bring back in my scrap of paper just to have a paper underneath it. And I've die cut already out of Basic White Cardstock these 2 sprigs. So that's this die right here. Now what I want to do is I want to color these little berries on the end here. I didn't even poke out all the bits. You know, it doesn't always bother me. Sometimes I leave them in, you know, where some of those have a little bit of that paper in the middle. Sometimes I just leave it. I think it's fine. Adds a nice look to it. So I'm just going to take my Stampin' Blend and I'm going to color these little berries. Now you could use the brush end of the tip if you prefer it. I like the bowl tip for coloring for the most part. And I use my brush tip to splatter with often. So my brush tip is pretty blown out. It would not do well coloring. So I'm not going to even try it. It's not looking so good. Love this. Now, if you didn't want this to be as bold in color, you could have used the crumb cake or even the light soft suede would work nice. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the Stella on these berries as well. Just give them a little shimmer. Mix that up a little bit. I love that this dries so quickly. All right, good deal. So now we've got our 2 little sprigs and we're ready to attach those to our cards as well. Now I'm going to use liquid glue. Liquid glue and I don't always get along, but for this project, I'm going to use liquid glue to put these down. You could have die cut these, or I could have die cut these using some adhesive sheet on the back so that it would have been a peel and stick, but I didn't want it all adhered down, right? Like I'm going to put some adhesive on there, but I don't really need all the little points adhered in place, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Let's go ahead and put adhesive on both. It will not hurt anything if that dries just a smidge before I start handling it. Okay. So I'm going to take one of them and I'm going to kind of, before I get too close down, I'm going to try to slide this under a little bit. And I want some of it sticking out and some of it under. Let's kind of angle that a little bit. How about that? Pretty pleased with that right there. So I just want it looking like it's kind of wrapping around that little oval a bit. All right, let's do this other one. Now I'm going to flip it upside down. It'll be easier for me to work with and see what I'm doing. I'm going to try to do a similar on the other side, right? Maybe I'll tuck that one under if I can get it. There we go. Then we can get a little bit closer. And I'm going to slide this one over a little bit so that I get a little bit more in that white space. Kind of fun, right? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now we've got to add a little bit of bling on this. So since we are out of our swirls, we can no longer get them. I'm going to pull in my favorites, iridescent pearls. These are great. I love them. If you didn't already notice that. And I think they add a nice touch to this as well. And you could use all the same size if you want, or you can mix it up and use multiples. I'm going to use multiples, I think. I'm going to put a larger one and a smaller one. Cute, 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 cute. So it's a little more subtle than it would be with the gold. Now you could even color these pearls if you wanted to bring that, that neutral earthy tone to it. You could color it with the crumb cake or the soft suede blends as well to change it up a little bit if you'd like to. All right, let's go ahead and bring this design to the inside, right? We always want a pretty inside to go with our outside. So what I've done is I've brought this image to the inside, did the same coloring I did on the front, and then just stamped the sentiment, the celebrate. So I've got my framed layer brought inside, so it all coordinates really, really nicely. So let's bring this back in, a foam pad and our stamp, so we can stamp this in the crumb cake. And I think I'm going to turn it like that. Just up in that little corner there. Nice. And then I'll bring my soft suede in and get my sentiment. I like to do my stamping before I start doing all my coloring, because if I make a big disaster out of this, I can still turn it over. If I start to color, I can't, because you know that blend bleeds through. Oh, pretty darn cricket. Should we try again on the other side? Let's see if I can do better on the other side. I cannot see with the video set up. Much better. Okay, so we're going to restamp that flower in the corner too. Yeah, two sides. Thank goodness there's two sides to the paper, right? This allows us to make mistakes. Happy accidents. Sometimes our happy accidents actually make a really nice card, and we do things that we wouldn't have intended to do. Who's with me with that? Had that happen? All right, so I'm going to do the same thing I did on the outside. I'm going to color in these little berries with my suede blend. I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer with our Wink of Stella to the flowers. How are you guys liking this? Fun? Will you try it? What stamp set will you try it with? You know, and I've kept it pretty simple. You could, like I said, you could go all over with your stamping versus just the corners that I did. All right, let's go ahead and adhere this down to our crumb cake layer. All right, and then we're going to adhere this to the card inside. Now, I don't typically use dimensionals on the inside, but you could, I guess, if you wanted to. All right. So pretty, so pretty. Okay, so I've got more samples. I've got an alternate to show you. So on this one where I use this, the floral image, on this one here, I used the sentiment and repeated it to also create a background with it, but it looks totally different and just a different feel to it. So this one's a little more festive, I guess, fun. This one's gorgeous. This one's fun, right? And then I've got registration going on right now for my Fitting Florets class, which is featuring this framed florets bundle. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of those cards. So these, not in the class. Although today's project, I will put the tutorial as a bonus in the class because that'll be fun, right? All right, so we're definitely featuring that wonderful designer series paper in some of our projects here. Got to pull that in, right? It's just gorgeous. Now that paper is available while supplies last. So registration will stay open for class until December 10th, or if the paper sells out sooner, I'll have to cut off registration earlier. So those are the 5 projects that will be included in your class kits. So lots of fun with this, right? And then I'll add this other one in with the bonus. So Susan, you're going to do it with some snowflakes. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see that. That would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. 2 other classes I want to let you guys know about. Last week, I did a little special for my email list, and I offered 2 different exclusive classes. I'm going to show the cards to you guys here as a sneak peek. If you are on my email list and have not signed up for these classes, you still have an opportunity until they're sold out. So the first one features the Combing Camilla stamp set. So this was a celebration host stamp set that you could earn. I think you had to have a $300 or $350 order party to get this, right? So I've collected a few. I've got 2 left. One of them is used of the 2 I have left, but here is the card class. So it is a 5 card class, and they're simple but gorgeous. You will get a pack of the brushstroke designer series paper, which is what I've used along here. I love that one. And then you'll get a bolt of the ribbon and the little elegant gems. So if you are on my email list and have not signed up for this class and still interested, do it soon because it won't last much longer. And then the second one I offered was the Perfect Pomegranate. Again, this was another previous celebration host stamp set. And then these are the 5 cards. So pretty. A little bit of fuzzy cutting going on. And this one is going to include the Regal's Designer Series paper pack. Again, I've got 3 stamp sets left. So one of them is a used stamp set. So 2 of them are brand new. But yeah, you'll get your Regal's Designer paper pack, the iridescent pearls, and some linen thread. So lots of fun. So if you haven't signed up for those and you're on my email list, you've got the email, just click and register. But that will be sold out soon, I believe. If you're not on my email list, you did not get that. And if you desperately want it, reach out to me, Wendy at CreativeLeeYours.com, and we'll talk, right? But this is exclusive for my email list. So, all right. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that you will give this technique a try where you're stamping in the background to make your own pattern paper, be it with an image or a sentiment. You can do either one and give this a go. All right. Thank you for joining me today. If you're not yet a subscriber to my YouTube channel, go ahead and click subscribe. And don't forget to share the video with your crafty friends that you think might enjoy this. All right. Thank you all so much. And I will